Hi, everybody. Let's continue our talk about interior walls, focusing on acoustics. Interior walls serve many purposes in your home. Um, they provide acoustic separation. They provide visual separation. Right here, we've got an example of this wall providing some visual separation between this tub area and the vanity area. Interior walls provide access control, who can go through that door, okay, privacy. They can contain utilities. They can control the airflow. Maybe you have a wet room versus a dry room. And finally, like we talked about in the last video, they can provide some structural support. So let's focus in on that function of acoustic separation. Your textbook provides a little bit of information here. And the first one is this table of STC ratings, kind of what they mean. And the second is this diagram of a couple of acoustic wall installations. So let's back it up just a little bit and talk about what STC is. It stands for Sound Transmission Class. An STC is a rating of how well a particular partition attenuates airborne sound. All right, how well it blocks the sound. It's used to rate interior partitions, which is what we're talking about right this minute, but also ceilings and floors. Okay, doors and windows and exterior walls. The STC reflects the reduction of noise that any particular partition can provide. So a higher STC gives you more noise reduction. Okay, it's better, it's quieter. So I've taken that list of STC ratings and put them on a number line here so you can kind of see visually how they relate to each other. And the lowest level is an STC of 25, in which normal speech can easily be understood from one wall to the other. Excuse me, from one room to the other. Next is an STC rating of 30. It's quite a bit better. Only loud speech can be understood from one room to the other. ST35, loud speech is heard, but not understood. At a level of 42, loud speech is brought down to a level of a murmur. So you can hear maybe that somebody's talking, but you can't understand what they're saying, and it's not disruptive to you. At an STC rating of 45, you strain to even hear loud speech. An STC rating of 50, kind of a gold standard here, loud speech is not audible. How do you know which wall to build? Let's compare some of the typical or standard wall constructions to our number line of STC ratings. All right. So the first thing I want to show you is right here. At an STC 32 rating is your typical interior partition. It's a 2x4 wall with drywall at each side. You probably have this in your own home, and you know that at the STC rating of 32, if someone is in the next room and they're speaking loudly, you can hear and understand them. So I hear a lot of people tell me, it's very important to me that nobody hear the TV into the bedroom. Let's put some fiberglass insulation in. But take a look. Going from a regular interior partition to an interior partition with just fiberglass insulation in the cavities moves you from an STC rating of 32 to 33. This is minor. This is a very small step. You can still hear and understand anyone speaking loudly in the other room. So what's better than that? What can you do instead of just adding cavity insulation? Well, it turns out there's something called a resilient channel, and that's going to be kind of your gold standard for residential acoustic applications. Again, I'm not talking about those sound recording rooms I'm talking about a loud media room next to a bedroom, for example. All right, this can happen all the time. The first thing you could do for an existing wall, if you're wanting to increase the acoustic performance of an existing wall, is to add a layer of drywall on a resilient channel to an existing wall. And oh my gosh, look, you bump it up from 32 all the way to 42. From loud speech is understood to loud speech is just a murmur, just a murmur. If you're building a new wall, so for new construction instead of just retrofits, you can go all the way up to an STC of 50, and that's going to be just a regular 2x4 wall. It will have cavity insulation, so fiberglass batt insulation in between. And on one side of the wall, the drywall is attached using a resilient channel. And you can see the difference between 32 all the way up to 50 is a huge difference. Okay, from loud speech understood between the two rooms all the way to loud speech is not audible. This is important. Just the fiberglass batt insulation doesn't work. Fiberglass batt insulation with the resilient channel works. Here's the same slide, same information, only I'm showing it with pictures, okay? Because we're very visual people, right? So here we are, our STC of 30. This is our typical interior partition. It's got 2x4 studs and a drywall or gypsum board or sheetrock layer on either side. At 33 STC, excuse me, 33, here is our typical interior partition with added cavity insulation. Up here at 42, we've got an existing 2x4 wall. Okay, keep that in place, don't change a thing, but add resilient channels and hang the drywall on top of it. And finally, way up here at STC 50, we have a 2x4 wall. Okay, nothing's changing to the structure. Inside, we have the cavity insulation, and one side of the wall, you just have the regular gypsum board installation. On the other side of the wall, we're actually going to hang the drywall on the wall using resilient channels. What are these resilient channels you keep talking about, Sarah? It is it's surprising. It's just a little piece of metal. All right, and it's a strip of metal. So here's somebody installing them. The resilient channels are get installed horizontally, and then the gypsum board is going to be attached to that. And how they work is they actually allow for vibration. So the acoustic vibration hits the drywall. That drywall vibrates, but then the wood stud does not. Okay, because the drywall is able to move separately. It kind of wiggles on this resilient channel. Not really wiggle. I mean, if you like push on the wall, you won't feel any different. Okay, so you're going to connect the resilient channel. It's this little Z-shaped thing right here into the wood stud, and you're also going to separately connect it to your drywall. And those two pieces will be able to move or vibrate separately, and therefore the noise won't be transferred from one to the other. Okay, that was a little bit more in depth into acoustics and interior walls, and I hope you'll be ready to help your clients keep their bedrooms quiet.